Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mikey Report for September 16th, 2010. I'm Mikey Edwards, glad you can be with us. We have quite a bit of news to get to. I know, it's not like the rest of my recent videos, but it's something, at least it's getting done, alright? At least we're giving you the news. So, here is the news for tonight. On tap for tonight, we have Americans not really confident in anybody. Blogs, bank, Congress, religion, forget it, most people say. In a poll, glum and distrusting, a majority of Americans today are very confident in nobody. Of what confidence there is, in institutions, military, and small business are at the top in an AP National Constitution Center poll released Thursday, but even they get very confident or better ratings from well under half the people. The most distrust comes from by blogs, banks, and Congress. That doesn't surprise me with the whole Congress. What would people change if they were in charge? The poll found growing sentiment for legal protection for same-sex couples, with 58% saying they should have the same government benefits as married heterosexuals, and nearly as many backing federal recognition of gay marriage. Respondents overwhelmingly opposed a stronger federal hand in two other areas: enhancing presidential powers to bolster the economy and requiring people to buy health insurance, as this year's health care overhaul law does. So, pretty much, people join in the against Obamacare. However, they still don't follow the morals of preventing homosexual relations. Federal, legal homosexual relations. So, that is the unfortunate part of that story, in my personal opinion. So, but we have something about in the environment. The relief well has intersect the blown out BP well. Joining 2.5 miles under the Gulf floor is the prelude to the final plug. Out of New Orleans, the relief well, drilled nearly 2.5 miles beneath the floor of the Gulf, has intersected the blown-out well. The government said late today. Final seal should happen by Sunday. 5 agonizing months after the explosion sank a drilling rig and led to the worst offshore oil spill in history. As we know, Thad Allen, the point man for the government on that oil spill, said in a statement that data shows the two wells are joined. The next step will be to pump mud and cement down through the relief well to seal the ruptured well permanently from the bottom. Gusher was contained in mid-July, and it still continues to hold at this point. And as this relief well is joined, things will be taken care of. Finally, after the April 20th blast. But there's more trouble in the Gulf, as Hurricane Carl is a Category 2, and Hurricanes Igor and Julia nowhere near the U.S. coast, but still very strong nonetheless, and Igor is heading for Bermuda. Let's take a look at all the hurricanes, starting with Carl, which will make impact, pretty high impact in Veracruz, Mexico, and cutting and definitely making some rumble throughout the middle portion of Mexico. As we look at the projected path, we're looking at it's currently a Category 2 at 110 miles an hour, well, around 110, 115 miles an hour, and deepening a huge drop come the weekend as it makes landfall in Mexico. It's at 100 miles an hour, I should say. Should pick up a little bit more. We're looking at Hurricane Julia, which is Category 1 at only 80 miles an hour, 1,375 miles southwest of the Azores. And it looks like it's not going to make that huge. It is still making that sharp turn, but it's definitely weakening and should probably be a tropical storm come the weekend as it makes the turn back out into sea, not really affecting us in the States at all. Igor, however, is heading toward Bermuda. There is going to be some current risk from Palm Beach to Cape Cod. The greatest risk where swells will increase throughout the weekend and the peak risk is Sunday into Monday. Some risk down by the Florida Keys and up through the Massachusetts, northern part of Massachusetts and up through Maine. As we look at some current information on Igor, Category 3 right now, 125 mile an hour winds moving in a northwesterly direction at 9 miles an hour. 805 miles south-southeast of Bermuda, cutting up toward Bermuda, probably going to cut through, as the projected path shows. Us having to deal with the outer edge of it, but definitely affecting Bermuda. Gonna pick up speed, probably maybe hit 135 miles an hour tomorrow night, and cutting up through around the east coast, but not far enough where it won't affect us. So it definitely shouldn't affect us here in the eastern Pennsylvania viewing area, as we experience pretty decent weather. Currently, right now, there's a light rain in the air and some clouds. But other than that, it's going to be nice and peaceful over the next 10 days of your life. Tomorrow, we're looking at, well, pretty much almost, all 10 days we're looking at sunny, partly cloudy, sunny skies. Down here in Phoenixville, 79, 78, 82, 73, 75, 83, 81, 79, and 76. That's taking you from tomorrow through the 25th. And we're going to take currently it's about 67, 68 here in Phoenixville, 61 up in Mount Cobb, high pollen level up in Mount Cobb, so Zyrtec will be needed. And let's take a look at what our weather was from yesterday. Of course, it wasn't the best, but it was 82 degrees for the high. Only about a quarter of an inch of rain. We currently have 61 degrees with winds out of the west at 6 miles an hour. We're looking at a recorded temperature of 63 degrees and quarter of inch of rain up in Mount Cobb. And we're looking for a couple days where there's showers possible or thunderstorms possible. Up in Mount Cobb, the 19th, there is scheduled storms, 70 degrees, and 72 on Friday the 24th, and showers possible. The rest of the days, it's going to be It's going to be sunny and partly cloudy, 67, 71 on tomorrow and Saturday. Monday through Thursday, we are looking at pretty nice weather, 63, 67, 76, and 70. And then 65 next Saturday for some decent weather. But let's get to some sports, actually, because we're definitely... sports is going to be big on my weekend. It's been big tonight as Valley Forge Lady Patriots ended up winning their volleyball match 3-1 against the Lions of Bryn Athyn College. And it was the Lady Patriots lost their first game 23-25, but won 25-23, 25-16, and then 25-18. The intensity was up, the game was crazy, it was fun. I didn't announce, but I enjoyed myself being actually a spectator for once. But let's get to some professional sports. Baseball, Yankees were off, but we still had the 6 games going on, one of them actually still going on. Reds lost to the D-backs 3-1. And Padres got shut out by the Cards 4-0 behind. Who did that? I knew I saw something. Oh, I must have missed it. Oh well. Either way, Cardinals beat the Padres. In college football action tonight, Cincinnati loses to North Carolina State 30-19. Cincinnati tried coming back in the fourth quarter with a 12-point fourth over North Carolina State 7th, but they were just dominant and scoring 14 unanswered points in the first quarter. Tomorrow night, it's Kansas versus Southern Miss and Cal versus Nevada. Both games on the ESPN family of networks. And finally, some football news. Oh, and also Dow ended up on the day yesterday and up on the day today, but not as high. They kind of slipped, so stocks were mediocre today, really. But to end in the NFL news, sources have said that the Eagles are planning to start Michael Vick at QB on Sunday against the Lions, according to ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Be Vick's first NFL start since 2006 when he was a member of the Falcons. Vick replaced Kevin Cobb in Week 1 when Cobb was knocked out of the game with a concussion, and he's making progress from concussion but hasn't passed the next phase of concussion testing, so therefore that has transpired. To Vick starting this weekend against the Lions, according to sources. So that is it for the Mikey Report. I'm Mikey Edwards. We will catch you next time on the Mikey Report. Hopefully we won't have this. Maybe we might have some live footage from everything going on tomorrow night in the chapel with the black and white gala. I'm Mikey Edwards saying good night, God bless, and see you next time on the Mikey Report.